Whereby offers a number of options for tracking customer usage that you can consider. I'll review each of these in detail, but as a high-level overview, you can get usage data from the following sources: the Insights dashboard, the Insights API, or webhooks and web component events. However, before diving into these options in detail, you'll need to set up some ways of segmenting usage by rooms or end users. There are two main ways you can segment the customer usage in your rooms: room name prefix or attribute and URL parameters. The room name prefix is a great option if you only want to aggregate usage per customer rather than individual end users. With this option, you'll identify which customer is requesting the room and set the room name prefix based on that. After the meeting ends, you can filter your insights results based on that prefix to only get usage for those rooms. If you prefer to track usage on a per user basis, attributes and URL parameters are a great alternative. You probably already have some sort of user ID in your own platform, so you can pass this into Whereby so it's included in Insights data. Then you'll filter for results based on that ID or a grouping of IDs. Now that you know how to segment usage, you can look up that data using our Insights suite or capture it via webhooks and events for your own processing later. Using the Insights dashboard along with room name prefix is a great option if you need a high-level overview or don't have the capacity for more significant development efforts. Earlier, I created some test rooms with the room name prefix example, so let's find those meetings on the dashboard. The PM used column shows how many participant minutes have been used in that room, and you can click on a room name to get a list of sessions if there were multiple meetings. This won't offer any automation capabilities, but you can always build on automation down the line via the API. The Insights API has the same information that's in the dashboard, but with this method, you have a lot more flexibility to automate or do further processing with the Insights data. Now, let's try to find those same meetings that we saw on the dashboard via the API. We can do this by querying the /insights/rooms endpoint. In this case, we'll include a room name query parameter that checks for the room names that start with example. From here, you could capture this JSON and import it into your own Insights dashboards, or you could use the data for tracking and billing your customers based on their usage of video meetings. The Insights API also includes endpoints for sessions in case there's multiple meetings that happen in the same room. If you want to keep track of an individual participant, there's even a participant's endpoint, which you can use in combination with the external ID attribute to query data for a single user. Usually, Whereby's customers set the external ID to the user's corresponding user ID in their own platform, so it's easy to relate data across the two. Finally, webhooks or the events on our web component can be a great option if you need access to real-time event data. These events include the external ID and metadata values in the JSON responses, which is helpful for tracking individual users. In those example meetings, I was also capturing webhook events via this test site. And as you can see, there's a metadata value of Vincent included on my host user. Normally, you'd have your own server monitoring and storing these webhook events for future querying, but this should give you an idea of how you can leverage these events for tracking customer usage. This is only a sample of what you can do with our Insights suite, and we'd love to hear more about how you're leveraging this data. Are you capturing events in a different way from how I demoed here? Or are there even more powerful ways that you're using this data? Is there functionality that you'd like to see included in the future? Join our developer community and share your suggestions, or ask others about how they've used Insights in their own products.